We fought the revolution to impeach. It's idiotic, of course. Mind-boggling. Democrats are planning to hold a new impeachment hearing this coming Wednesday when President Trump will be at the NATO summit in London. Oh, great timing, Jerry Nadler. This is yet another instance of tone-deaf Democrats trying to undermine the president while he is abroad. In July of 2017, you may recall President Trump was at a Bastille Day celebration when Democrats introduced articles of impeachment against him. February of 2019, Trump attended a summit to meet Kim Jong-un. All the while, Michael Cohen unleashed a litany of attacks on Trump. And then in July of 2019, Trump attended a D-Day memorial ceremony in France, and that's when Congressman Nadler chose to pursue more Russia witch hunt hearings. Joining us now for reaction, senior legal advisor to the Trump 2020 campaign, Jenna Ellis, House Freedom Caucus chairman, Congressman Andy Biggs, and Fox News contributor Deroy Murdock. Congressman Biggs, let me start with you. Is it your sense that Democrats are catching an earful back home among their constituents, and that they may suddenly get a case of the for reals and reconsider their drive to impeach?
Well, in some districts they are. So if you're in a swing district, like the representative you just showed the clip of, they're a little bit feeling some heat, some discomfort about pursuing the impeachment, and especially in light of what came out in the last 2 weeks of the open hearings, right? So first of all, it's obtuse. Nobody can really explain what the charges are. So the people there are going there who have said, well, we want impeachment, who are members of Congress in a swing district, are now feeling the heat about saying, well, you can't even tell us what the issue is. So, yeah, they're feeling it in some respects. That's why I think they're looking for an off-ramp in some respects, if they can get an off-ramp.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of off-ramps on that freeway. Deroy Murdock, you penned a column that'll be coming out pretty shortly. You shared it with me in advance. You write that the Democrats are on the verge of getting what they wanted, and they'll be sorry. How so?
Yeah, I think that they may learn to hate their little impeachment toy, which they've just unwrapped. Among other things, their timing is horrible. We are now just finishing up Thanksgiving. We've got Christmas coming, and the hearings on impeachment, the articles of impeachment, if they're written, the debate on impeachment, all that stuff will be going on while Americans are trimming Christmas trees, going shopping, enjoying eggnog, going to Christmas parties, getting ready to light Hanukkah candles. The whole country's uniting at home, doing all these warm, loving things, and the Democrats are going to be on TV dividing the country. And then if they do decide to go ahead and hold impeachment hearings, most likely a Senate trial will be taking place right at the same time that the Iowa caucuses, New Hampshire primary, Nevada caucuses, and maybe even the South Carolina primary will be taking place, which means Senators Sanders and Warren and Booker and Kamala Harris, Klobuchar, and Bennett will be basically tied up on the Senate floor, unable to do anything while they'd much rather be out there campaigning. So it could turn the Democrat presidential primaries totally upside down. You
know, Jenna, in battleground states like Wisconsin, I note, according to the polling data, 40% support it, 53% are against impeachment. But what's important is how independents are breaking against impeachment by an 11-point margin. What does that tell you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think independents are an excellent bellwether here because you can't accuse independents of political tribalism. And so the fact that these Democrats are going home to their districts and they're being faced with independents who are saying, we are not for this. We didn't put you in office to do this. The average American and the reasonable American are seeing that this is just a complete sham. This is not what the founding fathers intended by the separation of powers whatsoever. And for MSNBC to run that kind of ad is completely antithetical not only to what our founding fathers fought for, bled for, and died for, but it's completely misunderstanding and completely negating what President Trump is all about and how he has made America great again and how he is a fighter and he is an American who has advanced so much for you and me and for the voters who put him in office. He has accomplished so much in spite of all of this opposition because he is moving forward and he is making America great. And I think that the independents are seeing that, and they are just so sick and tired of this witch hunt and this sham, and that should tell the Democrats, back off.
You know, Congressman
Absolutely.
Biggs, I said recently on the air that if Democrats are foolish enough to impeach, they've terribly miscalculated, because a trial in the Senate will not be anything like Adam Schiff's impeachment farce. It's going to be just the opposite. Trump won't be on trial. Joe and Hunter Biden will be on trial, along with Adam Schiff and the fake whistleblower. What do you think?
No, I think you're exactly right. First of all, it will be every day, 6 days a week, from noon until they finish in the evening. That's a requirement of the Senate rules. Second of all, it's going to be open. And thirdly, Republicans will be able to bring in witnesses, just like you said. So look for like Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Adam Schiff, the whistleblower, the Schiff team of staff who worked with the former whistleblower. Look for a redux of Vindman. Look for the people who work with Vindman who can further impeach Vindman. You got Brennan and Clapper. You've got a whole series of witnesses that can come in. And Lindsey Graham has promised that he would bring in those types of witnesses. And this will go for quite a length of time, and indeed the primary is going to be turned topsy-turvy for the Democrats. This is not really the way they want it to go. That's why one of the reasons they're looking for an off-ramp as well, I think.
Deroy, you're nodding your head over here.
Yeah, I think it's entirely possible that if this meltdown continues, this may not even come to vote in the House. Nancy Pelosi is very smart about counting votes, and if she sees 17 of these Trump district Democrats get cold feet, she'll find some way to say, hey, Merry Christmas, come back in January, vote on USMCA, the trade deal, and move on and just get away from this.
Well, and if the Inspector General report comes out and really dirties up Obama's FBI, Justice Department, intelligence agencies, that may give Nancy Pelosi, Schiff, and Jerry Nadler pause to pursue impeachment of the president. He would look more like a victim here, and they'd be re-victimizing him.
That's it.
All right, Jenna, Congressman Biggs, Deroy Murdock, thank you all.
Thank you.